what's going on out there? I'm Sean Devine. Hope you all are doing well. Today, I'm excited to be doing my first review and demo of a channel strip and tube preamp. Today, we're going to be looking at a very interesting unit called the Aphex channel. This one was particularly interesting to me because of the signal flow. Really caters itself well to vocalists, for rappers, singers, even people who are focused on voiceover and narration work. I'm going to talk a little bit about each of the components as well as the signal flow and let you get a closer listen to what it actually sounds like. All right, so we're taking a look at the front panel of the Aphex channel, and what you're hearing right now is my mic run directly into the channel strip. No external processing, just the processing that's done right here in front of us. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the components that we have available. We have an instrument input. So if you're a guitar player or a bass player, you can utilize that. We also have the tube preamp gain control, as well as the Easy Rider compressor control. So these are combined, and essentially the more gain I introduce to the preamp, if you look over here at our gain reduction, we're actually getting more compression. So it's an intelligent way of detecting the signal level and introducing compression appropriately. We can completely turn the compressor off if we want to. And then we're also going to talk about the release control that can control how much compression is happening as well. But you do notice that we don't have a ratio or attack control. It generally works pretty well. And again, I'm just using it pretty lightly, so it does the job for what I need it for in tracking. Over here, we've got our main display. We've got our peak indicator. Next to it, we've got the clock selection. We can switch through, and this can actually control your audio interface. In my case, I'm hooked up through AES. And let's keep moving over here. And we have the release control for the compressor. Now, this is where we can actually control the amount of the compression. So if I go to fast, it's going to give us a louder, more dynamic sound. We've still got compression happening there. But if we go to slow, we actually are going to get more compression, and it's going to be just more of a kind of a glued sound, not as loud of a signal. Moving over here, we have the gate, and I have the depth all the way up, which means that as soon as we drop below this threshold, we are going to have silence. But if I turn the depth down, you can hear a little bit of the noise in my room. The hard drive's near the computer right now. But I like to just turn that up and get rid of it. So for voiceover, if you need a really quiet environment, it's a great gate, and it is logic assisted, so it's very smooth. Moving over here, we have a De-Esser, which is a very welcome addition to a channel strip for me. I personally do a lot of de-essing when I'm mixing, just to give myself a warmer vocal tone. I also have some pretty sharp S's. If I'm to turn the De-Esser back a little bit, you're going to hear that my S's and the presence of my S's gets a little bit sharper. And so if we introduce that De-Esser there, you'll see this yellow light indicating, and the signal just overall gets a lot warmer. And I like the sound of this De-Esser. And we're going to move over a little bit here, and we've got the big bottom control. So if we want to do the really big radio voice with the huge bottom end, we can, of course, control that and give ourselves some really big bottom. We can give ourselves a lot warmer tone. I'm actually using this. I just have it dialed up at about 12 o'clock. You'll hear if I turn that off, not that the mic sounds terrible, but it just sounds a little bit thin. And this gives us overall just a lot warmer tone, a little bit more thickness down low. So I really like that big bottom. Moving over here, we've got the parametric EQ, and we have, of course, a cut as well as a boost. And I'm boosting a little bit of the top end up here. This control is set to 4.5K, I believe. And then finally down here, we have the aural exciter. This is more something that you can give yourself some excitement and presence in the mid-range. This is something that Aphex has been known for. A lot of people have the aural exciter just as its own component. So to have it in a channel strip is pretty cool. So right now this is without the aural exciter, and then I'm again just putting this at about 12 o'clock, and then I have the frequency at about 12 o'clock as well. That's going to be at about 2.5K where I have this set. So we're just adding a little bit of that, and again, it just gives us a nice mid-range. So then over here, you might not be able to see the light because of the other bright light I have on here. But here, let's see. If I turn this down, this will turn off the big bottom, the parametric EQ, as well as the aural exciter at the same time. So if you want to just bypass all those, you can hit that, and this is just pretty much a dry signal with a little bit of compression on it. So you can hear what those components are doing. It's actually making the signal sound really, really nice. And then we have our output control. So if you need to make your final output a little bit louder, a little bit quieter. So I've got Logic open and I'm running our Aphex channel signal into the DAW. I'm going to record a little something with some auto tune and some reverb on it, just to give you all a bit of a musical context for what the channel can sound like. So I've got a little idea written. Let's have a little fun with it. Add a little reverb and auto tune. Some won't see a man's downfall, and they won't tell you like it is, while they sitting on the sidelines and you out getting your wins. Fear will make a man paralyzed, locked up in the box like a TV telling lies. Folks get led astray before they even realize. Woke up too late in the game and my life flashed before my eyes now. All right, y'all. So my hope is that that gives you a good idea of the features as well as the tones that are included with the Aphex channel. If you're looking into adding a tube preamp to your project setup, I would highly recommend this, especially given the price point and the features that are packed in here. I find that the intelligent technology in here makes it difficult to get a bad sound out of the compressor as long as you don't crank the preamp too much. The De-Esser is very, very useful for vocals, something that I do a lot of. And I'd like the fact that they have included that in this channel strip. Not a lot of channel strips out there have De-Essers. And again, especially at this price point. The big bottom is a great sound for those of you who might have thin sounding vocals or your microphone just needs a little bit of warmth in that low end. The fact that they also included Aes and Digital Outputs on the back stock, no extra charge. Overall, again, a great value and a great entry point for those of you who want to get into this tube preamp technology and getting into a warmer analog front end for your mics. So if you have any questions about the Aphex channel, feel free to leave a comment below. If you like this review and you want to see more like it, also feel free to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll talk to you soon.